Thank you everybody for coming. It's a beautiful morning to be here to celebrate Chief Newlan. Before we get started, I'd like to recognize some dignitaries that are here. I saw Councilmember Stout is here. Thank you for being here. Councilmember here. Chief Garrison from Northport Police Department is here. Deputy Chief Jeff Myers from Fort Myers Police Department is here. City Manager Rob Hernandez is here as well. And former Cape Coral Police Chiefs Jay Murphy and Bart Conley are here. And of course our city directors and staff of the Cape Coral Police Department are here. Thank you. We're here today to celebrate Chief Newlan, Dave Newlan. Been here 30 years. And what can you say about a man who's been here 30 years and dedicated his life to this department, to this community? Dave came here in middle school, I believe. He was a Colusa Cougar right down the road. From there, he was a Cape Coral Seahawk, stayed local, and joined our department in 1991. And he's done it all. He was a street officer with us, training officer, went into narcotics, and from there had a very storied career in narcotics. Was a DEA task force agent for many years, accomplished a lot of great things and networked with a lot of great people in the area. And from there, he came back to the agency as a major crimes detective and worked some of the biggest crimes that we've had in the city's history. From there, Dave went on the promotional track and became a sergeant, went back to the street and mentored young men and women that came into the field. From there, his talent was seen and he was moved over to administration, where he worked in our Professional Standards Bureau and helped us maintain our excellent accredited status, helped us with promotional exams, and really led the agency. From there, he was promoted to captain. He was a patrol captain. He was my patrol captain, and a lot of you here. And from there, he went back to Professional Standards to lead the Bureau and really poised it for growth. And we saw tremendous growth in our administrative and professional standards when Dave took over. From there, he was a captain of our Investigative Services Bureau and really brought succession planning and kick-started what became a very renowned succession planning for our agency. Dave came back to Professional Standards. From there, he was promoted to Deputy Chief, served as Deputy Chief and did a phenomenal job, and we knew then he was on the path to be the man for the agency. He's been our chief now for almost 5 years, and he's maintained and developed our professionalism. He shared his knowledge. He's always been one to be an open book. His experiences became your experiences. He helped grow leaders, mentor many of us, mentored me, and I'm very grateful for all the years of service and the dedication you've had to this community, both at the agency and in the city of Cape Coral. He's a husband, he's a father, he's a leader. He's our chief, Dave Newlan. I'd like to welcome City Manager Rob Hernandez.
Thank you, Chief. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. You know, this is a very bittersweet day. On one hand, we get to congratulate Chief as he begins the next chapter in his career and in his life, but it's also a somewhat sad event in that we get to say, see you later to a professional and a friend. You know, the police chief is probably the department director that the city manager relies on the most, as you know, that city manager goes about the business of running the city. A police chief can make or break a good city manager and can help set the tone for relationships and atmosphere in a community. When I first came to the city about 90 days ago, one of the first people that I met was Chief Newlan. And we sat down, we started talking about a variety of issues and of life in Cape Coral and his career here in the Cape Coral Police Department. And within about a minute and a half, I knew that I was dealing with a true professional. And I said, you know what? I like this guy. He doesn't have an ego. He's not impressed with his position. He's not a badge. This guy knows how to relate and communicate to one another. And over the last 90 days or so, I got to watch him in action. I got to see how he interacts with the public, how he interacts with his colleagues, and how he interacts with our elected body of 8 council members. And I can tell you that I wish I was as cool and as calm and collected as Chief Newlan is. I don't think I've ever seen him in the 90 days that I've been here get worked up about a particular issue. You know, we've dealt with complaints from the public, and I've gotten some outlandish emails and emails that make all kinds of crazy accusations about the city and about this department, and I've turned it over to Chief Newlan and didn't get flustered. Every morning when I start my week, I meet with the 2 public safety chiefs. And, you know, I approach the meetings, you know, I'm kind of want to get ahead of any particular issues that may have taken place during the weekend. And sure enough, every weekend we start the meeting, Chief is calm and collected, and whatever happened over the weekend, whether we had an incident, bad traffic accident, or what have you, he was always calm, always professional. Never, ever let the moment seem to control the way he reacts. And again, that's the mark of a true professional, and that's a mark of experience that he has developed over 30 years of service to this community and this police department. You know, when I first walked over here today, I was talking to Chief Garrison for just a brief moment, and we made the comment that the city of Cape Coral has been extremely fortunate to have great police chiefs throughout its history. And Chief Newlan is going to join the ranks of those great police chiefs. I wish him well, and I'm very, very happy to say that we're not losing Chief Newlan as a professional in this community, because most of the time, you know, when police chiefs retire, they head to the hills of North Carolina or Tennessee, where they can begin their next phase of their life, you know, on a boat, on a fishing boat somewhere on some lake. But Chief isn't going too far away from us. He's going up to the street, and he's going to be working with the school system, and we're going to have access to his expertise and to his knowledge. And I think we're very fortunate to know that he's just a phone call away for us, and I think that's absolutely phenomenal for us. So if you don't mind, I'd like to just read a couple of prepared comments that I have, and I'm going to try to not repeat a lot of what Chief Sizemore said in his opening remarks. We know that David Newlan began his career here with Cape Coral Police Department on February 11th, 1991. And Chief Sizemore mentioned that during his career, Chief Newlan was assigned to the Patrol Bureau, Investigative Services Bureau, and the Professional Standards Bureau, where he was responsible for personnel and training, internal affairs, budget, policy writing, and accreditation. Chief Newlan worked his way up through the ranks of the department and was promoted sergeant, captain, and deputy chief. He was ultimately promoted to police chief in August of 2016. He has played a key role in your department's efforts to achieve professional accreditation with the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies. All of you know them as CALEA. Chief Newlan's professional achievements during his career includes graduation from the FBI National Academy, the Administrative Officers Management Program at North Carolina State University, the Florida Criminal Justice Executive Institute Leadership Seminar, and the Police Executive Research Forum's Senior Management Institute for Police. For 30 years, Chief Newlan has served and protected this great city of Cape Coral, Florida. He has dedicated himself to the highest standards of professionalism and excellence as a proud member of this police department. And now, Chief is retiring. And throughout his 30 years of service, he has developed and taught our next generation of law enforcement officers. And so, in recognition of Police Chief David Newlan's nearly 3 decades of honorable service to our community, I'd like to present to him a certificate of appreciation in the city manager's office for his and dedication, and I'll read it to you. It says, certificate of appreciation is awarded to Police Chief David Newlan in appreciation for your 30 years of service with the Cape Coral Police Department and the city of Cape Coral. For 30 years, you have served and protected the citizens of Cape Coral, Florida, and dedicated yourself to the highest standards of professionalism and excellence as a proud member of the Cape Coral Police Department. Chief Newlan, thank you very much for your service. Godspeed to you. Much luck to you in your next professional assignment, and much luck to you and your family as you begin this next chapter in your life and professional career. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. And without further ado, let's hear from the man himself, Chief Dave Newlan.
Well, first I want to thank everybody for coming today. I look around the, everybody that's came here today reminds me of a lot of the things in the past. I see, going back to talking about, our culture here at the police department, and looking at the ones that had an influence in my career that really mentored me. Obviously, we're going back to the chiefs that are here, the past chiefs that were here. Jay Murphy, Bart Conley, Arnold Gibbs, who I don't think is here today, Rob Petrovich. But there's that level, that culture that's been passed on to chief, as well as the staff too. I mean, again, I think about the staff we have today. We have a great team, and look around, and it makes me think about going back to all the memories in the 30 years being here. Just talking to people and having conversation about, do you remember the time of this, and do you remember that, and you kind of forget those things. And I think when it came to today, it's hard to face being gone. 30 years is a long time. You guys are my family, so. I think a lot of times you want to avoid these type of events, probably because you don't want to cry. But it's emotion because I love you guys. You guys have been my family for 30 years. You still will be. And it's been the best team. I always say that it's not about that one person. It's about all of us here. And we've had a great. I think again, looking back and just thinking about everybody I've watched. Being able to have the pleasure and honor to promote over the years and see each person grow and seeing where they're at today and knowing where it'll continue to move forward. I know in a very positive, successful manner, and I look forward to seeing the department continue to move forward. And I want to thank everybody, but I also want to acknowledge my wife Megan. She's here today. Megan, will you come up here, please? She may kill me later if we put her on the spot, but I want to. She is going to kill me. But I do want to say that part of the thing about being at the department and the hours you put in and going out, getting called out, it's not a 9-to-5 job. You all know that. And without having your family support system, you need to have that at home. And some of my family are not here today, but are always there as well. My kids were always there to support me, understood the job, the commitment, that, again, it's not 9 to 5, it is weekends sometimes, there are nights, but you have that support, and that makes a big difference. Family is the number one thing. So I want to say thank you. Thank you to my wife for being by my side, stand beside me, supporting me, and so I wanted to publicly acknowledge. So kill me later, but it won't be in public, so you guys won't see that. And again, I want to say thank you. I know it's before we wrap it up, I have to look. I looked over here at the shadow box here, and I know they're going to be showing that, but I tell you, it's phenomenal. Thank you, everybody, all my staff that put this together, the work that you put into today. It's hard with right now dealing with COVID. Kind of, what's the right thing to do, and we're all trying to be careful, maintain social distancing, wear masks, but I do appreciate everything that went into today. I gotta say thank you to Martha, my assistant. She's over there, right there, but she's been my, I always say, she's the boss. She's the chief. She runs that office, and I couldn't do it without her. I know now that the only thing we were talking about was every time I go in the office, it's kind of a funny thing, but I always gotta check the thermostat. Because with my uniform on, I'm always hot, so I always put the thermostat down to 70. Low as it'll go. And she's got her heater back there behind the desk.
Try 60.
Or try 60.
Try 60.
So it's kind of funny because when I come in my uniform, she's prepared. She has the heater on. It's down to 70. So the only probably good part we talked about is that'll probably go back up again now that I'm gone. Normal temperature. She won't need the heater, but. I do want to publicly thank her as well, and all my staff. Again, everybody. This means a lot. So, again, thank you.
One more time for the chief. So we'd like to officially present this to you, Chief.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll leave the shadow box up here for anybody to come take a look at it. We ask you to please stay, enjoy some fellowship, maintain distance, mask up, enjoy some lunch provided by Nevermind Food Truck, and we have a beautiful cake. If you get a chance to look at the cake, it actually is a cake. It looks like a bronze plaque, but it's edible, I promise. And again, thank you everyone for coming, making this possible even in the times that we're in. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
I saw it.